I expect that to go similar, you know, and that's no disrespect. Well, I mean, obviously, Charles is very dangerous. You know, he can always catch him, but I think Islam's style, like, you know, he's patient. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. So you need to, you know, put it to him in different ways than just hoping to land something, just one shot.
Charles has to have a game plan. He can't just go forward in a blaze of aggression. He can't just be winging it. I mean, at the end of the day, when two fighters like that engage in just an all-out brawl, if Charles is doing that, it's a coin toss, okay? He's got to use a lot of jabs and he's got to use a lot of straight shots. And early, much to the demise and much to the dismay, should I say, of Charles Oliveira, he's got to circle. He's got to be light on his feet. He's got to be strategic. Simple as that. He has to employ some form of strategy. And that strategy for me is avoid the clinch, okay? Early, don't take too many chances, and don't throw wild shit like flying knees when you're not even in range.
I think Islam's just a terrible matchup for Oliveira. Islam got better striking, better jiu-jitsu, better grappling, better wrestling.
I'm 100% sure that Charles didn't show his true potential in that fight. You know, I know from experience that the guy is good. I thought he really underperformed, and we've seen him do that in the past, and we kind of, everyone, including myself, thought he was past that, and he kind of broke through that, not say quitting, but broke through those times he stumbles in there, and he really found his groove. But in that fight, he kind of looked like the old Charles. It looked like he didn't want to be in there. If he has his mental together, I think he'll give Islam as big of a test as anybody ever has.
I think Islam versus Charles, I'm not going to doubt Islam ever again. I've put my foot in my mouth too many times. I think Islam has the ability to beat Charles.
I mean, you'd be a fool to say Charles. You know, we saw the last fight. And so, you know, if you're going to bet money, granted, you're not going to get good odds on that money. But, yeah, I would say Islam. I would prefer Charles because I want to get that fight back as well.
It's a tough fight for Charles, to be honest with you, because when I grabbed him, in terms of wrestling, he tried something that I was like, why would you do that? He tried so hard to lift and finish the takedown, he put himself on his back and ended up like pulling guard. So in terms of grappling, wrestling specifically, I still see too many holes in his game. In terms of striking, man, I honestly didn't get a good feel for him. I felt a little bit of his speed, a little bit of his timing. I agree with you guys. He does have a good amount of power, but like, obviously I think he's going to do better than last time. Let me put it that way. I think he's going to do much better than last time, but I still think it's going to be a hard fight for him against Makhachev.
I said Charles last time. I'm gonna go with Charles again, just because I like his style so much. He's so fun to watch. It'd be sweet to be able to go out there and see him get the job done, especially after the last fight. So I'm going for Charles, but it's so hard to go pick against Islam.
That's a tough out, especially after the way the last fight went. You know, he's gonna have to make some changes. Looks like he, did against BENEIL, but I think Islam's a totally different animal, so it's going to be an interesting fight. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Do you think he does get the job done this time around?
Does Charles get the job done? It's going to be a hard one. You know, he showed that Islam showed that the submission threat. He's not too worried. He kind of called it. He said, I'm gonna put you on the mat and I'm gonna submit you. Where most guys hit him, he drops down to the mat and they step back and they say, Charles, get up. He went right after him. He hopped on and finished him with the strikes and then moved past to submission. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get. I don't know if Charles is getting that one back.
A tough fight I'm excited for, but you got to favor Islam, especially Islam completely smoked him the first time. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be a close, fairly even fight, but Islam smoked him. I think the rematch will be a lot better, but I'm gonna have to. The first one was so easy, it's hard not to favor Islam.
I hope, I hope that Islam has a really good cut, and he just has a lot of energy when he goes in there. In this game, you can't, like, it's in a game of inches, you know, so you have to be, like, you know, on top of it and stuff like that. Not that I think he had a bad cut, but it just seemed like he was just, like, a lot more tired than usual in his last fight against Volkanovski. So I was just thinking maybe he had, like, not that great of a cut or something, you know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But, yeah.
I think Islam is really like pound for pound #1. I think he's gonna show his class. I trained with Islam. He's a good friend of mine. We trained in Las Vegas 2 years ago. He's a great guy. I love him, and he's a different level. He gonna destroy Charles Oliveira and hopefully get the pound for pound #1.
He made quick work of Charles Oliveira in Abu Dhabi last year. They got the rematch coming up in a couple of weeks. Are you going to be there for that? And secondly, how does this one going to play out? Is it going to be quicker than the first time, or do you think it'll be more challenging?
I think you're going to repeat his finish, but yes, I will be there.
You'll be there. Will you be cornering him?
No, I don't think, but I will be there like a guest.
The Islam fight is going to go still towards, he was so dominant against Oliveira. I think that's going to be that's hard to overcome as a fighter. When you go in there, you have a sense of confidence. You're like, all right, let's see. You get somebody that runs you over. I mean, it's happened to me in practices before. I've had a guy run me over. It takes you a couple practices against the guy to try to shore that up, you know, because the first couple times you end up changing your game plan. You're not really fighting yourself. You all of a sudden you start overthinking things. Like, okay, well, I really got to focus on this. And then afterwards, someone can look at you and go, well, why didn't you do what you're good at? Well, it's because he does this. And so fighting somebody who, you know, kicks your ass as one-sided as the first meeting was, I think that's hard to come back from, you know. It wasn't a close fight. I think easy bet Islam.
Charles Oliveira's got great coaches too, and hopefully they don't accept the takedown as easy, and then they really try to stop him from getting to half guard, because those Russians did a great job. As soon as Charles went down, most people fall into his full guard, and that's where he's so dangerous from his full guard with his elbows and his triangles and his flexibility with his legs. But as soon as he dropped him, they forced the half guard, and that took away all his weapons. Head and arm choked him, and so hopefully they fix that. I'd love to see Charles get it done.
But do you think he gets it done?
I think there's definitely possible he gets it done.